Welcome back to Music Theory Logic. Andrew here, and I'm here to wish you a happy New Year's Eve. Hopefully all of you are out there staying safe. If you are in Southern California like me, you are experiencing some rare rain, which is a pretty cool way to bring in 2023. It's crazy that it's already 2023. I was thinking back to one of the most recent memorable New Year's Eves I had was coming into 2020. And ironically, I was super sick. We still don't know if we actually had COVID or if we just happened to have the flu the year that COVID hit the world. But it was kind of amazing because, you know, they say like the way you spend New Year's Eve is the way you're going to spend the rest of the year. So if you happen to be hanging out with me, hopefully that means you're going to be tuning in the rest of the year. If you come across this video after I'm done streaming it, I'm always happy to answer questions. And today it's going to be a special sort of unique kind of stream in that I have a remix package coming out that I'm putting out myself. It's a remix package for the song Reveled in the Sins featuring Pip Lewis, which I put out approximately like in October. Hopefully you've enjoyed that song. I'm going to debut these remixes from some really great artists. I'll tell you a little bit about how I know them, the style of the mix, and then I will play you another surprise I have going. But let's go ahead into the Logic session. So one of the best ways that I know how to route all the audio when I'm doing these live streams is using Logic, basically because I've created an audio aggregate channel that I'm sending all the audio from Logic into. So if you haven't heard this original, I will link to it in the description. I would appreciate any sharing of the track, and just listening does a lot. So the first remix we're going to hear is from the artist Pretty Bye Bye. He is out of Germany. He and I met virtually through Evoked Natives. Really cool, cutting edge future bass slash dub slaps slash hip hop. Really, Caleb, who runs Evoked Natives, has put out a bunch of really cool, unique stuff. The track of mine, Vision of the Past, and then Prism came out through two of their different imprints, and that's how I met Pretty Bye Bye. And we subsequently worked on a collaboration that is called The Power of Bliss. It features Preston Dills on vocals, who I have the side project Off Days with. So Pretty Bye Bye killed this remix. It is in his style of just like hard-hitting, almost complextro, has kind of a little dubstep vibe to it, but we could just call it future bass. So here it is. Love what he did. I'm going to play each remix in its entirety.
It's a dangerous game, thinking you can turn on. You're the angel of blame, and I just play along. I'm letting time slip away, idolizing you for so long. But I've got nothing to say, your gravity is too strong. God woke up in a cold sweat. No one could have made, but honey, I have no regrets. It's you I'm worshiping. As a cape and you wield a sharpened wit. You love like you hate, you love like a bad trip. I'm letting time slip away, idolizing you for so long. But I've got nothing to say, your gravity is too strong. too strong. Gone off myself. Gravity is too strong.
Super cool one. So like everything pretty bye touches. I'm like really blown away with the sound design. It's got a really sort of ethereal feel to this. It's also very like dynamic. Each drop is different. Really dig it. I will say I think he like moved the vocals, like transposed the vocals. I was trying to figure this out on my guitar, jamming along to it, and it felt like it was in E flat major. And what's cool about that is the original track is at D minor, and the final thing I'm going to show you, which I don't think lives up, isn't on the level of any of these remixes, but all this stuff motivated me to sort of do an edit. Can't really call it like it's a remix of my own piece of music, which we're going to call like a New Year's special edition, but I moved it into a major key, like inspired by that remix. So the next one I'm going to play is by an artist who goes by Tait. Nate and I actually went to college together. He was also in the arts program. I was studying music. He was studying visual arts. We then crossed paths again many years later at Studio West recording studio, where I was working in San Diego. Nate got his audio engineering certificate through the track program there. Went on to do a lot of engineering for bands and making his own electronic music. Even since the college era, he's had a passion for analog synths, and he has just an absolute like beastly setup. And this next track is at 128 beats per minute, so he slowed it down. It doesn't have as much of the vocals as two of these, the remix we just heard and the next one we're going to hear, and my edit, but it translates the track into a really interesting sort of house vibe. So here we go. Here is Tait's remix for Reveled in the Sins. Find his music and other like DJ sets and stuff like that linked on all the track bios and descriptions. Here it is. Oh, false alarm. It's actually the beginning to my third remix. I wanted to separate that one and the last one just because this one is different. So here's the one I described from Tait. So very, very different remix from the last one we just heard. I think I've done videos on this on breakout videos, but music is such a personal thing. It's really a beautiful thing that different people have different tastes, and I think I have friends that would really like the one we just heard, and I have friends that would like the first one. And the next one we're gonna hear is sort of like a happy medium between the two. We're gonna hear more vocals. It has a real sort of like polished commercial sound to it, and it has almost like a synth wave type vibe to it. Still kind of like future bass, but this is from Saulz and Rydn, Rydn. Hopefully I'm saying your alias correct. The two guys, I know Saulz is out of the sort of like the Boston region, so East Coast American. And I think him and Rydn work together in person, and I think they even had an alias they were working on. So this one is super, super cool. Thank you guys for your hard work on this. It sounds amazing. So without further ado, here is the remix from Saulz and Rydn.
It's a dangerous game, thinking you can do no wrong. You're the angel of blame, and I just play along. I'm letting time slip away, idolizing you for so long. But I've got nothing to say, your gravity is too strong. Got all caught in a cold, cold sweat, 'cause no one clued him in. But honey, I have no regrets, it's you I'm worshipping. We both got up 'cause we loved too hard, and he didn't expect it. I prayed to you and gave my heart, and you reveled in the sin. You can take it. You were bright as a cake, and you wield a sharpened wit. You love like you hate, you love like a bad trip. I'm letting time slip away, idolizing you for so long. But I've got nothing to say, your gravity is too strong. Got all caught in a cold, cold sweat, 'cause no one clued him in. But honey, I have no regrets, it's you I'm worshipping. We both got up 'cause we loved too hard, and he didn't expect it. I prayed to you and gave my heart, and you reveled in the sin.
That one is so, so cool. I am really blown away. Like, first of all, the mix sounds so punchy and it's dynamic. Really, really a lot of respect. Check out Saulz. I believe he did the master on this. at Saulz, like the artist name on Instagram. I haven't talked to him as much about what he does outside of his dance music stuff, but from following him on social media, I can tell he does a lot of mixing for artists, mastering and recording. Has a lot of really cool outboard gear, and it shows, not wasting any of that. I mean, it's a super, super cool remix. I can't even begin to pick my favorite from these three. On a side note, I'm hoping to get a couple more in. I just had to finally pick a date, and what better day than New Year's to put this package out. So when I get those other remixes, I will definitely repost those on my socials. And on a side note, if you come across this video and you're like, wait a second, how do I get a chance to remix the song on this? Since it's an independent release, I would be more than happy to share stems with you and see what you want to do with it. It's really, really cool hearing a song that, like, Pip and I worked on this. We worked on this over the course of like 2 years. Finally came to life, and now hearing the remixes, it's just like such a crazy experience, because they're like, you can appreciate the song almost like a listener. It's like I wasn't close to those projects, so I can hear them like it's not my song, even though I'm familiar with some of the stuff on the songs. Each remix did like sampled or used what we had before in different ways. You could hear both songs that had the vocals like on them, like the full verses. They did a lot of work on the actual like vocal mixes, so a lot of respect for that. So this last thing I'm going to play for you, I'm just going to call it like sort of a remix special, or a New Year's special. This is a remix that I did for the song. If you've been following the channel, which you would help me out a lot if you subscribe to the channel, but if you've been following it, you've seen me post a lot more videos of guitar. I'd like to thank all of my subscribers and all of the people watching my YouTube content. Like, I've been hugely into guitar for most of my music life, and at this point, most of my actual lifetime. At the end of my band era of my musicianship, and I wasn't playing as much. I've always played a lot of guitar, but I wasn't using it as much in songs. And I think from posting the reels and from talking about other people's music and sort of like rediscovering myself, I've gotten a lot more into putting guitar in. So long story short, this remix, like I said before, I flipped it into the major key, kind of like Pretty Bye Bye did. So this is an E flat major. The original song was in D minor. So the vocals are moved around. It mainly relies on guitar. I try to do a little bit of like drum and bass inspired sort of stuff, which is not drum and bass because we're at 140 beats per minute. But here we go. I don't think this is quite on par with the remixes that we just heard, but one thing I've found in my own music is that like I never feel like my stuff is on par with other things that I hear, and I think in some cases that's because it's not as good as other stuff, but in other cases I think it's more just because like I'm really close to the song. So remember that when you're making your music. It's okay to not think your stuff is the best thing ever. I actually think that means you're a much more grounded human being, and I think a lot of musicians that perhaps think their stuff's the best stuff ever, it's kind of like a facade, which is built upon something that is sort of missing or something not fully there. So here we go. Hopefully you enjoy this. Here's my New Year's Eve special edit of Reveled in the Sense. I better turn on.
It's a dangerous game, thinking you can do no wrong. You're the angel of love, and just play along. Letting time slip away, I
Cool. So once again, I hope to be getting in some more remixes. The singer / amazing producer artist Pip Lewis is also working on her own edit. Can't wait to hear what she does with that. But once again, thank you to all my subscribers, everybody creeping from the shadows, everyone watching the videos, liking, hating, whatever. You're helping the algorithms. You are making me feel like giving me a purpose for making these videos. I really appreciate you rocking with me. If you have any questions after I've been live, let me know in the comments. If you have any videos or content you'd like to see me make, let me know in the comments. And again, if you haven't already, you'd help me out a lot by subscribing to the channel. Thank you for hanging out, and find a link to this remix package. And it will be for sale on Bandcamp, and the small amount of revenue that we generate is going to be shared amongst all these artists, and you would be supporting these independent artists. And another thing you could do to help support them is go follow them all on Spotify, on Soundcloud, wherever you have social media, Instagram. Those kind of analytics help us musicians all the time. So thank you again for hanging out. Have a wonderful rest of your New Year's Eve, and I'll see you in 2023.